Here's some things about growing up in Vegas that would send other cities into a coma. Number one, there's softcore corn all around the city. It's actually gotten a little bit better in recent years, but when I was growing up and my mom was driving me to school in the morning, we would be driving past billboards of women's bare asses. And growing up, when you would walk down the strip, there would be like these promoters that would hand you little cards that showed women completely naked with only stars over their nipples. I would walk around the strip with my adult brother all the time, and they would hand it to him even though he had a child with him. And then my brother, for some reason, would like give them to me, like he thought it was funny, and I thought it was funny too, and I would collect them like trading cards. Not only do they hand them to you, but they're also like scattered all over the ground because most people don't want them, so they drop them. So as you're walking, you're just like walking through all of these like cards. I don't even know if they still do that, but that's how it was when I was growing up in the early 2000s. And what is it advertising, you might ask? Escorts. Yeah. And on top of that, you know, like those little boxes where they sell newspapers? They had those, but it would be actual like corn, like magazines. And again, it was completely nude women with just little tiny stars over the nips and lips. Pretty effed up to grow up in that environment. Number two, we have a really high homeless population, and a lot of them live underground. Yeah, we basically have like a whole underground city where people live and they have like tents, and it's like in these tunnel systems. Like, you know, when you see a manhole in the ground, it's under there. And yes, it's completely pitch black down there. But the crazy thing is the manholes aren't the only way to get down there. Sometimes in parks and other places, they have like cement caves that you can either walk into or sometimes you have to crawl into. And when you're a teenager, you kind of hang out down there. Not the same area that people are living in. But like we'd go down there, there's like graffiti all over. Like people would like garden in there, hook up. I may or may not have lost my V card down there. It's not gross though. It's just like cement, depending on where you're at. Number three, we like don't really have like suburbs, not in the way that other places have suburbs. Everything is all in one compact area. We're surrounded by a desert. You can't like drive through cities to get to other cities. Like it's just us out here. There's some little towns like Pahrump and stuff, but those people are like thugging it out in the desert. Otherwise, we have our local mountain called Mount Charleston where you can go and like experience trees and snow. And then we have Boulder City, which is like a little town. Other than that, it's Vegas and Henderson. There's mansions in the ghetto and there's ghetto in the rich areas. If you want to live in the suburbs, you have to be really rich and live in like a super gated, guarded community where they have like golf courses and stuff. Otherwise, like everything's all together, okay? You could live in a nice area, but you go down 2 streets and it's ghetto. Which leads me to my next point. It's actually really small. Like, yeah, it's a big city and we have like a really high population, but nowhere you're gonna go can possibly be more than 40 minutes away. And it's weird because like I've lived all over town throughout my life, and when I used to go on Facebook and add people as friends, I would see that they had mutual friends with people that I knew from like across town. Also, we have one of the lowest ranking school systems in the country. And some people theorize that they do this on purpose so that we have no choice but to work in the casinos and work in like the nightlife, like adult industry. And yes, it is really normal for women at some point, 18, 19, 20, to go and be like a midnight ballerina, even an escort. A really popular one is dressing up like a showgirl on the strip and hustling tourists for money. Another thing is when you're an adult and you meet people, it's really rare for someone you meet to like be from here. It's especially rare for someone to be 2 generations in. Most people, like even if they're born and raised here, their parents are not from here. Because those people move away and then new people move here, usually from California. If I meet someone, I can just guess that they're from California and I'm right like 90% of the time. Also, most kids growing up spent a lot of time in casinos because back in the day, if you wanted to go to a nice movie theater or like a buffet or something, you had to go to the casinos. Casinos are a very familiar and nostalgic place for us, even though it's smoky AF and kind of gross. Lastly, we do have a lot of celebrities here, but they live way more low-key lives than they do in LA, and it's more rare to see them. My friend's dad played poker with George Lopez, and my husband used to work like construction plumbing, and he actually helped build one of Celine Dion's houses. Let me know if you want to hear more about that, because allegedly she's pretty greedy. Oh, and we saw a Carrot Top at Whole Foods in his car. I also one time took my kids to the library and they were playing with this kid, and I started talking to the dad, and I asked him what he did for a living, and he said that he was a Blue Man in the Blue Man Group. So I met one of those. Anyway, let me know if you want to hear more about this. If you have any questions, I could probably do a part 2. And if you live here, let me know in the comments, what did I miss? What is something weird about Vegas? Also, let me know if you want to hear about the culture shock I experienced at 16 years old, moving from Vegas to a tiny rural town in the Midwest.